Hello, my fellow human, and welcome back to another daily dice where we ask a dice for a message and find out what that is. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time in this space with you, and for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, you will find everything you need in the description below. With that, today we are doing There's a Warning that's coming from Source for you. I'm going to be using the Goddess, Gods, and Guardians Oracle deck by Sophia Brashford today. So I've given these a shuffle. Let's go ahead and get into it and find out, Source, what is the Oracle card that will help us better understand the warning for my fellow humans? Thank you. Okay. Alright, Source, what is the warning that you would like to give to my fellow humans? You have a message for them today. What would you like them to know? What is the warning that you have today for my fellow humans? We've got the Sun, we've got Taurus, and we've got the first house. And it's interesting because I keep feeling like we've got a lot of light, right? Like the Sun coming through here in the first house, all about vitality, with the way we're showing ourselves to the world, finding stability in that. But I keep getting this feeling of shadow that's coming through here, like the shadow self is playing a part. So the example they're giving me here is like maybe you're feeling more free to be yourself, and so you're putting yourself out there more, but then you put yourself out there more and then suddenly you feel like, oh my gosh, like what if this, or what if that, or what if people are seeing through it, or what if people aren't seeing it as it's authentic? Like there's like this underlying doubt that's coming in with that, and it feels like the warning here is not to let that doubt win over, because you really are in a transitional period in your life. And through this transition, you're also very highly susceptible to those darker thoughts, right? The shadow thoughts that are coming in. And so being mindful is so important at this time. Like understanding that you're healing a very deep-rooted trigger that has to do with how you view yourself and how you see your worth and how you see your value here, especially with Taurus in the center here. It's like finding stability in your value and finding stability in your worth. And that feels very uncomfortable to me right now in this reading. It feels like, oh my gosh, like I don't see how good I am. Like people are saying I'm good and I don't see how good I am. Like, am I really as good as people are saying? Like using others to validate you, or wanting others to validate you so that you feel better. Like, okay, I can relax into this, or I can relax into how I look, or I can relax into how I'm presenting myself, or as like a song, as long as someone else validates me that I'm okay. It's not that like you're needing that, but it's like almost a desire. Like I just need someone to tell me that I'm doing okay, and then I'll be able to relax into that. And so there's this underlying feeling that's coming with that, and also a whole world of thoughts that are being brought up by that. Like I'm not good enough, or there are other people that are far better than me. And the truth of the matter is there are always going to be people who are more talented than us. There are going to be people who are less talented than us. That's just life, right? Like we can't compare ourselves to others though, because we're all different. And so this is really coming in from Source, like a warning. Don't let those thoughts get the better of you is what this feels like. It's interesting because I wouldn't usually get that from this dice, but I feel it so strongly. I feel like a shadow side here, and it's like the shadow of yourself, right, is what's dimming your light. You're not even dimming it because anyone has said anything necessarily negative to you currently, maybe in your past, and maybe that's a reflection of your past. But it feels like it's just a reoccurrence from your thought patterns that keeps coming up, and that's what's dimming your light. It's not really in particularly pointed at a person. It feels very self-inflicted here, okay? So let's see, Source. What is the warning? Look, I split the deck, and we have the Sun and the Emperor. Be sure of yourself at all times. Know that you are exactly who you're meant to be, and that letting your authenticity shine through is something that is so powerful. And recognizing that, like, when you're okay with yourself, you see that and you see how it impacts others, but you more importantly see how it impacts yourself. But maybe that comes from a betrayal, like, or someone tried to convince you that you weren't worthy of love, or you weren't worthy of being seen, or maybe that's an old childhood wound that you think you've healed, and then it keeps coming up time and time again. And so it feels like in this transitional period, like that is something that's going to come up again. But it's also like Source reminding you, the warning is just to stay diligent, to stay present with what's going on. Okay, yeah. Something about the family past coming in with Judgment here, something that's been really hard to heal. Almost an addictive energy towards it. It feels like this is something that your emotional ego has latched onto as a safety mechanism in regards to certain triggers in your life. Like, I have to act this way, or I have to think this way about myself to save myself from potential downfall, or to save myself from potential disappointment. What is the warning you have? Thank you, Source. Let's see what's on the bottom. Yeah, we've got the 5 of Coins on the bottom here. There's a huge shift around the corner for you. Transition. This is just a big change. And this big change is going to be, like, you're going to be seen by a lot of people. You're going to be noticed by a lot of people. There's going to be a lot more people talking to you when you're out and about. Like, and I know not everybody's excited about that, but there's something that you're meant to help other people with by just being you. And if you're afraid to be you, you're not going to be doing the things that you had set into motion to do. And that's okay. It's not like there's a right or wrong here, right? It's just saying, like, then it's going to come at a later time. But Source is encouraging you to really embrace this now. Yeah, being stuck. So either you're dealing with someone in the family, you don't have to be, or this is you healing situations from a family, trauma that was going on in your life. And it's been really difficult for you to heal. And it's been coming back time and time again here with this energy. Hold on just a second. Random. Okay. And this is saying, like, don't let that be the call to you, right? Like, the trumpet's calling here. This is, some say it's Archangel Gabriel. It just depends, I guess, on how you see it. But it's like the trumpet's calling you. And the trumpet can lead you to the promised land. It can lead you to heaven on earth. It can lead you to the manifestation of all that you want. But equally so in the reverse, it's calling, and it can lead you down the rabbit hole or the infinite darkness or into the shadow and get you stuck again with the 4 of Swords in the reverse. And so that's what it feels like here. Source is warning you, don't let the negative thoughts, don't let the chatter that has always won over continue to win. This is about you standing up to yourself and knowing that it's okay, right? It's okay that that's there, but it's not okay for it to continue, right? So that sounds kind of like a conundrum. It's like saying, like, oh, okay, I'm recognizing that every time I create whatever I'm creating, that I'm saying I'm an imposter. Okay, like, I'm recognizing that. And it's from now on, because I recognize that, I choose to remind myself that my creations are unique and they are needed. Instead of just saying, like, oh, I'm just going to sweep that under the rug and not face it, or I'm just not even going to pay attention to it. And the Judgment in reverse can talk about addictions too. It might be something that your emotional ego is addicted to or has been addicted to. And that's why it's been difficult to really clear it out, right? You keep pulling back layers of the onion And as you keep pulling back a layer, you're like, okay, finally I'm done with this. Finally, but there's more. And it's just, that's how deep this wound goes. And it feels like overcoming a lot of noise and drama from, could be child-parent relations. This could be like realization from childhood traumas. This could be unpacking something that was at one point a repressed memory or a repressed emotion, and really like facing it. And it's scary, and giving yourself space to accept that too, right? Like, okay, it is scary. That's okay that it's scary. What's not okay is when, that fear forces you into doing something that is not good for your highest good, right? And that happens. And if that does happen, then it's important not to beat yourself up, right? It's okay. We're humans. We're allowed to make mistakes. Like, that's a part of what our existence is to make mistakes. It's how we learn. And so I feel like that's just a reminder here from sources that if you make a mistake, it's okay. It's okay. You try again, right? What is it in the Rescuers Down Under when they're flying the Alcatraz? What is it? Is it the albatross? The albatross, the bird? No, I think it's albatross. They're flying him for the first time. Anyways, the bird doesn't show up, and they have to fly the seagull or whatever it is. And he's like, okay, read the checklist. And so they get all the way through the checklist, and what's the mouse's name? Bernard, I think, or anyways, it's been a long time since I've seen it. And he's like, okay, and if at first you don't succeed, try again. And he starts freaking out because he's like, oh my gosh. And Bianca, the little white mouse, the cute one, she's all, oh, don't freak out, Bernard, it'll be okay. And he's of course freaking out because he's such a rule follower. And that's what it feels like. It's like Source is saying, like, it's okay to follow the rules, but sometimes you have to be like Bianca and just trust the process, even though it can be difficult. Like, try again. It sounds so arbitrary, right? But it's not. Like, there's a purpose to it. Okay, so that's what it feels like Source is saying. And sometimes it feels like maybe you don't have the energy to let go of this. And Source is reminding you that you absolutely do have the energy. And if you ask for assistance from your guides and from everybody that, you trust, they'll help you. Okay. On the bottom, yeah, conjunction, a union, a merging, a coming together. Okay, this is why this time is so vulnerable. It's like you're coming together closer with your higher self. The transition is merging with your soul. Excuse me. It is a little late for me, but I needed to get some work done, and here we are. Broken arrow fell out. Embrace the energy of peace. So being at peace right now is very valuable for you as well. And I understand a lot of this is easier said than done. And it's kind of like, it's kind of like in yoga. There's cues for everything, right? Like, you have one pose, like say you're doing camel pose, and there's like 12 cues just to get into camel pose. It's like, dang, that's a lot of cues just, to hold this pose or to get into this pose. And really, the ultimate thing is focus on the most important ones. Like, where's your stability come from? Where's your stamina come from? It's like, if you get one out of the 12 cues and it's the most important one, which is where your stability comes from, you're doing okay. And it's like, you give that value, right? So it's like, okay, today maybe I let this thought over here win, but I faced this thought and I came to terms with it. And I gave my ego a voice. I let it tell me how it felt. And I let it tell me why it felt that way. And I listened to it. And I was able to give part of myself love. And I was able to let it go. And I won that one. Instead of focusing on the negative part. Like, well, I didn't do this and I didn't do that, right? Like, that's what it feels like Source is saying. Yeah, unlock the magic within. Right? Because the more that you give yourself space and you also celebrate the small wins, the better it feels and the easier it is to do it the next time. Staying flexible is so vital to your journey right now. What else would you like to tell them? What is the warning that you have for them? Okay, I feel like one more wants to come out. This just feels like a real struggle. Yeah, change. Look, I can't make this up. Transformation, newborn, evolution. This is such a big time of change for you. And they don't want this old energy coming into this new place that you're coming into. Like, there's a lot of good things that are coming for you, okay? On the bottom, taboo, limit, crime, forbidden love, curiosity, right? So there's a lot that's, I feel like this is more like the cult, like occult things that are coming through, or like the taboo is really standing out for me. It's like things you wouldn't normally talk about. So again, repressed energy is coming through really strongly, like things you would rather not mention, but you still need to heal them, right? So how can you find an effective way to heal it without, spending too much time talking about it or focusing on it? It's rather just acknowledging it and then doing your best to find a way to heal that, and trying different modalities as well. And we have House 11 here, friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. Don't be afraid to join a community that's going to help you, or that understands what you're going through as well. And that will help you, because they might help you trigger ways in a safe environment that will help you feel supported in overcoming them as well. Yeah, Saturn energy, feeling restricted, experiencing struggle, learning hard work and patience. This is absolutely a part of Saturn for you here. This is something that's been very difficult for you. And that's okay, right? That's just a part of our process. Like, it's a part of us living. Sometimes we go through some really difficult challenges, but when we let it go and we lean into our lesson, we begin to understand, like, oh, this is teaching me compassion, or this is teaching me forgiveness, or this is teaching me self-love. And really the biggest one out of all of them is self-love. Like, we end up meeting a lot of toxic people in our lives, especially for empaths, because they will teach us the most valuable lesson about self-love. And we actually do teach them lessons about having empathy and love. Whether or not they choose to accept those, or that's on them. But the same thing with us, whether or not we choose to accept the lesson of self-love is on us. You are not alone. The guardian angel card coming out here. I love that. So friends with the 11th house and guardian angels. So again, like, your guides are saying, like, you're not alone. If you need help, ask us. We can't interfere, but we're here for you. The minute you ask us, we will swoop in and help you till the cows come home. Miracle. Dreams come true and get what you want. Yeah. So there's a miracle around the bend, but it's like right now you're releasing something that's very, very difficult for you. And I feel like Source is just saying the warning here is not to let the negative thoughts win, not to let the difficulties that you've had in your life be the determining factor of whether or not success is possible or probable. It is. Miracles happen every day. Miracles are normal. We're embracing this journey with normal, like, making miracles a normalcy in our lives, but it's difficult when maybe all we've experienced is struggle. And so that's what the transition is here, is going from a place of constant struggle and hardships into where you are going to be seeing manifestation after manifestation, but there's still a little bit of work to do. It's not just going to come easily. And I know that seems like, oh, why can't it just come easily? I've done so much. It's because there's still an old pattern that's holding on tooth and nail here. Okay, so let's take a look at your card from the book. We've got, look, the Dryad with protect your energy. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this could be a person. I kept feeling that shadow. This could be a person that you're trying to protect yourself from. But I also feel like this is protecting your energy from yourself. Like, we can put holes in our own aura and leak out our energy if we're not careful. And so this is also that reminder, like, it's important for you to do what you need to do to keep yourself feeling whole and complete. And you are whole and complete. Like, you're never not whole and complete, but to feel that way, like, what do you do? What rituals do you do? What meditations do you do? Like, maintaining those practices will help. Journaling, shadow work, all these things will help that as well. So it says you're leaking your precious energies all over the place, and the Dryad has come to the rescue. The Dryad is the best friend of an empath, a highly sensitive person who taps deeply into the emotional states of others. If you're empathic, you sense someone's feelings and experiences as if they were your own. This is a gift and can make you a wonderful listening ear for your friends. But if you don't take care of your boundaries, you can have a damaging effect on your well-being. How many times have you felt clogged, unbalanced, or drained from being a psychic sponge for everything around you? Dryad offers you the simple energetic clearing and protection ritual. Do this exercise morning and evening, especially being in crowded or emotionally charged environments. Dryad says, imagine yourself inside the aura of a beautiful tree, as to be cleared of all energetic toxicity and visible baggage that isn't yours. This could be other people's emotions, thoughts, and personal soul lessons that you've unconsciously absorbed. To complete the clearing process, visualize a layer of protective light surrounding your body. Finally, consult the tree's spirit wisdom. Ask if there's any message it wants to share with you. Give thanks to the tree. Your aura is refreshed and sealed with Dryad's protection. Take a break from social media. Bring plants into your living space to purify the energy. Get involved in tree planting projects and learn more about tree wisdom. It says, I respect and care for my energy field, and I recognize the healing power of trees. Okay, so that's the other thing. Maybe you're not realizing just how much you're giving. You might not feel like, oh, I'm giving too much, like I have enough, and then all of a sudden you feel incredibly drained at the end as well. And so this is just that warning, like it's time for you to really protect yourself. You don't have to expand yourself that much. Like, you're doing just fine. You don't have to cover the whole world with your energy. You just have to take care of yourself right now. And remember that you're not alone. Ask the guardian angels, ask your guides to help you bring back your energy to yourself and to fill in any potential psychic leaks or psychic holes in your aura with love and light. And they will absolutely do that. But remember, they can't come in unless you ask them. Right? And a great prayer that I've adapted is angels, guides, guardians, and ancestors, I give you permission to interfere in my life as you see fit to redirect me back towards my path of purpose. And this has always come with an unexpected turn of events, sometimes positive, sometimes not so positive, but it has always helped redirect me back to where I'm going. And it's just that reminder, always putting that intention of light and love out there and reminding yourself that if I'm not asking, they're not just going to interrupt my life like that, right? Like they're not just going to insert themselves into my life. So protect your energy, protect your aura, and remember this is like that repression energy too. You could be dealing with people or connecting with a lot of people who are also repressing something from their childhood that is triggering your own traumas. And that's what this really feels like too. It's like reminding yourself that you are not that energy any longer, that you have grown beyond that, and that it's okay to give your emotional ego a voice for the sake of listening to the wounded child, but not for the sake of taking the driver's seat. Okay? This is how we validate our emotions, and we say, I'm listening to you. I hear you. I understand where you're coming from. And now I'm taking back charge by giving you love, the love that you always deserve to receive. But also, I'm saying it's time for us to let go, because we tried it this way for a long time and it didn't work. But now I've heard how you feel, and I'm glad I heard how you feel, because that brings a sense of peace to that place where we were holding on so tight. Okay? So this is what I see here for you. If you felt like this was your reading, leave a little tree emoji and I'll let you pick which one down below and say, I trust in the wisdom of the tree, knowing that some things take a long time to sift through and to let go. But that's where the powerful process allows transformation and change beyond my imagination. And if it resonated with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member of the channel. So with that being said, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very powerful message. And until next time, stay human. Bye.